On the show today, our theme is short dreams. Our symbols for today are Frankenstein, Dracula, bats and witches. And as always, I interpret the dreams you sent in during the week. Hello and welcome to So You Think You're Awake. I'm trying to get the screen working here now. Our show is all about dreams and their meanings. I'm Michael Sheridan and it's my mission to set the record straight about dreams. You can send your dreams to the show at dream-analysis.com. Please go there, check it out. They are the lifeblood of the show, so please do send them in. Today I'm just going to interpret dreams that you sent in during the week that are really short. Over the past few weeks, I suppose, and you're going to see how interesting that is just shortly. See what I did there? But first, we're going to have a look at our symbol for the day. So, with this being Halloween, and Halloween at the end of the month, with this being October, I thought I would just pick a few different scary symbols each week. So if you can think of something scary that you've had in your dreams, post it in the comments under the video here, and I will tell you next week what it means. But it has to be something scary. And Frankenstein, that's obviously a scary one. We've covered that kind of before when I said if you're being chased, it's about something from the past. So monsters and Frankenstein and things like that are typically going to be about something from the past that scares you, that you don't want to have to look at. And of course, when you have that in your dream, it means you do need to look at it because it wouldn't be coming up otherwise. So that's Frankenstein. And then if technology is working, and it is, Dracula, it symbolizes that you project negativity onto others. If you think about Dracula, not only can he fly because he's a bat, so he can project himself symbolically, but he also has the power to control people's minds or cast spells on people, put them under his influence. So in a dream, it's reminding you that you have a strong intellect, a strong mind, and that you must be careful how you think. Now, not all of us have to be careful about how we think, but you do, because if you have Dracula in your dreams, because your powerful mind that you brought with you in order to influence people and improve their lives, you can use negatively if you think negatively about other people, and you can impact their health and impact their business and all sorts of things. Most of us don't have to worry about that at all. Bats are another symbol that mean the exact same thing because we associate them with nighttime, of course, and they're dark coloured. So exactly the same as Dracula, reminding you that you have the ability to project negativity because of the black or dark colour onto others. And then witches. One of my favourite movies there, Hocus Pocus. Witches also can put people under spells. They can mean a few things and they're not always negative. But in this context, I'm going to pick on the negative. So again, about projecting your mind and controlling what other people do because of the spells. And of course, witches can fly on a broomstick. So we also have the flying reference in there. So let's have a look at some of your dreams. So I wanted to look at short dreams and I've got several here. So these are all pretty quick. The analysis is pretty quick. So people ask, is there any point in looking at a short dream? And of course there is. Now there's a difference between a short dream and a snippet from a long dream, quite a difference. So I'm talking here about short dreams, but I'll include a snippet. You can get a lot of value out of a snippet too. But short dreams are short because we accept the message of the dream. So the way it works is our higher self sets up a whole dreamscape, a whole dream world, and we enter into that dialogue with our higher self. If we accept the message, then the dream is very quick. It's like, hey, how about you change in this direction? And you say, okay, I've considered that and I'll do it. And that's it, the dream's over, no need to continue on. Usually though, what we do is we bring our resistance and our limited belief or whatever it is, whatever experiences have happened to us in our lives that cause us to say, I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk in front of crowds. I don't want to be open enough to where I can feel people's negativity or anger towards me. And of course, maybe you need to be open because you're an empath, or you pick up on feelings. So closing that off is going to block your particular ability. So we project our negativity into the dream, and then the dream carries on and on. So our higher self decides, okay, I'm not just going to scrap this one, I might still be able to salvage this situation, or at least get some learning into it. So it'll change the scene slightly or introduce other characters. So we have kind of like a long-winded dream that goes on and on and on and on. Now we can look at any paragraph in that dream and we can get a lot of information from that. Obviously it's great to look at the whole dream, but that's quite different than, like I said, from short dreams. Short dreams typically happen when we've decided to take action, decided to do something, and the dreams come usually hot and fast. So we have several dreams in the one night, and you can wake up even feeling like, I didn't get any sleep, I had 17 dreams, it feels like. That's always very good, and it shows the therapy or whatever you're working on is working. So our first one here, let's have a look. Let me put it up on the screen. That's the whole dream. My 21-year-old son was being interviewed on the phone by a woman from Congress. He was told that everyone in Congress will get something from him. Okay, so we've a few things. Let's highlight them in the dream. So being interviewed is a reminder that this dream is about your life purpose, because interviews and dreams symbolize the stage before birth. So we all actually are interviewed. Almost all of us are interviewed before we get a place here. It's like, what are you going to do? How are you going to work on yourself? How are you going to pay your karmic debts? What gifts are you going to develop here before you go there, etc., etc., etc. And we pass this interview process, or we wouldn't be here in the first place. But then we get here and we kind of mess it all up. So the interview is a reminder. Look, this is what you came here to do. The phone says that this dreamer can channel, but the way it works for her is like thoughts are impressed on her mind. So she gets thoughts about things, and that's how it works. It's a woman's dream, not a man's. And then we have Congress. So Congress is an arm of government here. You'd wonder sometimes, but Congress is an arm of one of the three branches of government, and right at the top. So almost right at the top, president at the top, Congress there. You could say on an equal footing sometimes. So it means that the dreamer is a spiritual leader, because Congress is filled with leaders. Now, it doesn't matter what you think about Congress in reality. I mean, it does. That will impact the interpretation, but that's what it symbolizes. So Congress still symbolizes spiritual leadership. Spiritual leadership is done through female energy, where you listen to others. You help people in a way that they no longer need help anymore. So it's very positive, very different from the leadership that you would typically think when somebody says leadership. So what's interesting here, though, is she says in the dream, everyone in Congress will get something. So this almost would slip by. So this is just a 2-sentence dream. We also have the son is 21 years old, so 21 is coming of age. So it's like, this is your age. This is time for you to do this. But people in Congress, and I said they're spiritual leaders, they all represent guides in a dream, but everyone in Congress will get something from him, or well, from the dreamer, because you're everything in a dream. So it means that this person is here to help spiritual teachers. So it gives us an idea or a clue to her level. She's at the guide level, and she's here to help other people who are here, who are light workers in the spiritual field, or particularly spiritual teachers in the spiritual field. So that's really good. Very short dream, very cool interpretation. Like I said, they're usually all very good, short dreams. And I have a few here that, or at least one that isn't, but we'll have a look. So here's another one. The food we were eating in a restaurant in London was really bad, like a disgusting mashed potato slop. My uncle in the dream said loudly that it was from Argos. And then she says, any ideas on what being from Argos was about? And of course, anybody who knows their Greek mythology would be able to answer that. So it's the Argos really gives it away, but we know from the food and something being disgusting. So the food that she's eating is bad, is what the dream is saying. And what type of food? Now, we already know, because when I gave her the interpretation, she told me, but we get it from Argos. Argos had 100 eyes and was asked to watch over a cow. We can ignore the details of why, but he was asked to watch over a cow. He failed in that mission, was killed. But because he was asked to watch over a cow, we know that Argos symbolizes beef or watching your beef intake. But we could ask the dreamer, if we don't know, or if Argos didn't show up, we can ask the dreamer, say, well, what did you eat the night before? And she said, well, actually, I had a hamburger. So what did she say? She said, I'd love to know how you knew that. What's more, I had a burger yesterday. And I said, okay, because of the eyes, it also symbolizes that you're clairvoyant, and that affects your clairvoyance. The burger and eating the wrong foods affects your clairvoyance. Why? Because Argus gets killed in the task. That's why. So she agreed to both, that she is clairvoyant and she had the burger and so on. But here's what's interesting. She had no idea what Argus represented. And Jung talks about archetypal or universal symbols. And Argus is one of those from Greek mythology. So it doesn't matter that you don't actually know the mythology. It's in the universal consciousness, you could say. And because it's there, we can tap into that. We do tap into that. We always think we're isolated and doing things on our own, but we're not. So even without consciously being aware of what Argus was about, the dreamer was able to pick Argus in the dream because it was relevant to her. And that's exactly what a universal symbol is about, or an archetype is about. So let's have a look at the next one. So 2 dreams done. She said, dream last night included trying to park a small RV, white with grey accents, and a black and gold Toyota pickup truck inside a large garage at a U2 concert. Okay, do I have a breakdown on this? I do. So trying to park a pickup truck. So a truck is a symbol to do a career because of the truck reference. So the pickup truck, this dream is going to be about picking up your career. What type of career? Well, because of the U2 concert, they're a group, so a group of singers, a band, so they symbolize channeling. But in your case, it's channeling for groups. You're meant to work with groups. And then, of course, trying to park that is not good. So that's like, okay, this isn't really going anywhere. I'm just going to park it off to the side. Absolutely not. You're not allowed. And that's not me saying that. That's your dreams and your guides and higher self and everybody else. So what else have we got in the dream? We have the colours. And of course, if we see colours, it's great. So the white with the grey accents. The grey shows that you mentally deny your positive emotion when you feel it. That's what the grey is about. The white is an antidote for that, to try to give you confidence. And the black represents your fears, and the gold attempts to heal that. So you have fears around this, probably fears about putting yourself in front of people because of the concert setting and so on. And that's what you need to address, because you're obviously meant to be doing this. It's a good dream because it's nice and short. You get the message, but they really want you to pick your career up a notch. And when I told the dreamer a couple of days ago what the dream was about, she says, yep, you're spot on. I've only done 2 readings in the past few months. Things have grown quite quiet. Now, in this case, the dreamer took a break, went somewhere abroad, and is back. And we often find that we drop our energy. So if you're going away, if you're working in the spiritual field and you drop your energy because you're going away, work on it while you're abroad, while you've lots of time, lots of free time because you're on vacation, and visualize that you're going to have a ton of clients waiting for you when you get back. Now here's a kind of a funny one. Again, another short one. My breasts were full of beer and people were coming to me to nurse them. I wasn't sure if I could produce since I hadn't nursed in so long, but it poured out abundantly, filling cups. So really a cool dream. And I said to the dreamer, you know, you'd be every man's dream if this was true in reality. But what is it about? Well, breasts are about nurturing, and even she says that people were coming to her to nurse them. So we know it's about her nourishing and nurturing other people. And then the beer might seem like a bit of a strange one, but it's about her healing ability, because she said the colour of the beer was golden, and she has a healing ability. So she's to help people in lots of different ways, but nurture them, heal them, and so on. So what way do you look at this? What else have we got? She was afraid that she couldn't produce because she hadn't nursed in so long. So, okay, that's a normal fear. When we see our abilities in dreams, we usually see our fears. So I'm afraid that, yes, I did this in the past, but I haven't done it for a while, and I'm afraid I'll fall flat in my face. Well, of course you won't, and in the dream it shows you that you won't, that you still have an abundance that you can tap into. And then the filling cups. So she's got a few different abilities here. She's got a counselling ability, a teaching ability, all from the fact that people are coming to her to be nursed. She's got a healing ability because of the nursing as well, and the colour of the beer. And of course, anybody serving food or drink in a dream, that indicates a healing ability anyway. So we have that with clarity in this dream. It may seem strange that it's beer, but you can really ignore that if you don't want to. If you really want to hit the drill down button, it's all about making sure people don't suppress their nature, their abilities. It's not about you suppressing yours, because it's saying you shouldn't suppress yours. And then filling cups. So the cups here represent knowledge, again, because golden liquid's been poured into these cups. So it's like your cup of knowledge is going to help other people fill their cup of knowledge. So it's along those lines. So a very good dream. And I feel like I'm racing along these, but it's just because they're short. So let's have a look at last one. And this is probably a snippet. Is this the snippet one? I'm not sure. I think it is. So my 6-year-old son and I were flying to China on a very small plane, private plane. So we know that's about her childhood when I was small. Despite the size, there were 2 flight attendants and they were laughing at how much baggage we brought. Both a giant suitcase and a Santa-style sack were filled with shoes. In a huff, I started throwing them either out of the luggage or out of the plane altogether. I can't remember now which it was. So let's have a look. What is this about? Well, 6-year-old brings us back to when you were 6, like the very small does too. And you say 2 flight attendants were laughing at how much baggage you brought. So this is about feeling humiliated. Something in your childhood caused you to feel humiliated. People who are, because we look at the 6-year-old being the significant age, so people who are adults humiliating you. And that is what caused your baggage. So that is connected to the baggage that you have now. And that's the baggage you need to deal with. And you say you have a giant suitcase, and it's fine to throw that out because suitcases always represent baggage. But you also have a Santa sack. Now, Santa's sack represents gifts or abilities that I have. It's unlimited potential in Santa's sack. But you're reaching into this and you're throwing out shoes. And this streamer sent this one in because last week's shoes were the theme. So thank you very much for that. But you're throwing out these shoes. So it says that the ongoing effects of this incident cause you to disregard approaches that you should take with regard to what you're doing in life. And I would even go stronger further than that, and I'd say, look, you were able to wear many hats. You were able to adopt lots of different approaches, and not all of us can do that. We need to pick the one approach and work from that approach, or maybe 1 or 2 things we have, 1 or 2 feathers in our cap. But you've got lots. But you need to realize that because of what happened in childhood, you disregard some of your abilities, some of the approaches that you are actually able to take. And then the other thing is, watch when you get annoyed at things or when you get into a huff, you throw away your best approach to things. So that's what that last little bit would be about. Watch that you don't throw out your own abilities because you're feeling humiliated. Now, what's it all say? It means go back and look at whatever it was in childhood and work on that so that you don't react that way in future. But okay, so there we go. Some very short dreams. And we're going to have more short dreams, but I just thought I'd mix it up and have another couple before that. So this one is called Rescue Dead Woman from the Toilet. Straight away you're wondering, aren't you, from the title. And this is a bit of a longer dream because I didn't want to just do all short dreams. And this woman says, I was in Seattle with a gay friend called Amy. Let me bring that up here. So gay female, so this is about her female side. Another woman, why we know it's female side because it's a woman who's into women. So it's an encouragement. Don't be afraid to be into your female side. Another gay woman died long ago and was in my house. I freaked out and flushed the body down the toilet. And she says, I've had multiple dreams where I don't cause a murder or a death, but I cover up for one. Okay, so this is about your female side and you killing off your female side. And of course, the dream is going to be encouraging you now to go back and go after that, which is always good. I mean, this is one of the most common themes in dreams because 50% of us leave the planet. We die because of heart-related illness. So 50% of us at least, so it's going to be more, 50% of us at least have dreams encouraging us to develop and not be afraid of our female side, not be afraid of opening up and letting people get close to us. Anyway, Moving on with your dream. You say, I think a musician is about channeling again. So you're trying to channel, obviously, but you need to develop your female side. That's the side that you need to work on to get there. Knew there was something down the toilet he needed to get to find his true love. He thought it was her. Okay, you're saying it wasn't his true love. But so it's kind of like, this isn't worth it. It's not even your girlfriend. So I'm everything in a dream. You're everything in a dream. So it's like me making an excuse for why I shouldn't try save this person, go after this dead person. Then you say, of course, that's just an excuse, like I said. I finally had to tell him what I did. So you owned up. That's really good. That's like the dream has kind of forced you to be open. And after he saw a camera under the toilet. So a camera is about a reproductive system or sexual activity. So we know that that's going to be involved in you closing off your female side. That was like the first clue or tool at the start of a scavenger hunt. Okay, that's really good because scavenger hunts are about, they're kind of like a fun thing, putting all the pieces together so I can solve a particular problem. So we know looking at that is important. You say he was excited and determined to start. So where do we start? We look at that aspect of your life. But you say here, you give us more clues. I flushed the body in college. So we know it's about going back to your college days. And that's when you closed off this part of yourself. Now that's pretty good. Usually we find that we close ourselves off early in childhood. Now this dreamer worked on cutting the ties with her mom in the past. And this shows because the woman in the dream who's dead is an older woman. Usually we're trying to rescue a child. Here we're rescuing an older woman. So that's really good. And this is how dreams show us that we've made progress in our lives. I was scared to lose him, and this could be a different him. So it's saying that you threw away your female side because of your fear of losing somebody when you were in college. Let's see, I was scared to lose him if he went after it. It wasn't his living girlfriend anyway. So again, it's like, what's your point? There's no need for you to do this. And then you say, I ended up telling Amy what I did and she wanted to get her girlfriend back. I was afraid it was a terrible idea since the girlfriend was already dead. So of course, this is your fear of doing this. People come back to life in dreams. So when you finally get this woman, you'll find she isn't dead. In fact, she's not really that hurt. Now, I was going to stop interpreting this dream at this point, but I just decided for fun and whatever reason, we'll continue on. So you say, I ended up going to Heidi in a dining room. That's Heidi from the old KKNW show, my co-host. In the dining room type area, I saw lots of trees in the house, and Amy said that's what was wrong with where we're from. I didn't want to give away where you're from. We had too few trees, whereas Seattle and Washington has more. So trees here, it's about the color. It doesn't mean what forests mean in dreams, and trees are green. So again, that matches in with the theme of this. It's all about the heart chakra. It was late, and Sandy, that's my partner, was saying something to Heidi and getting ready to go to bed. That's not as bad as killing somebody. I didn't want Sandy to know what I was up to, so I waited for her to leave before I asked Heidi for help. So it's like, I don't want people to know. I don't want to be open. I want to be closed. And then you say, I needed her to tell me if this rescue work was even possible. So again, this matches up with your, should I even do this? She said it was, but it would be hard. I asked her if I could die, and she said it was possible. So again, these are all your fears. These aren't reality at all coming up in the dream. So moving on. You say the entire battle had to be done via text. Once we were in, it invaded the house like reality. The way to make it stop was to text 4606, and that would immediately eject you from the game experience. Amy was in battle gear, ready. So this battle, so this is, of course, this is the conflict. This is your conflict around issues to do with the heart. And this is what you have to battle. But we get something great, and this is why I continued on with this dream. So the texting 4606, well, texts are all about communication. So we know it's about communication of the heart. And 606 are really good. They're both about, the 6s are about the dharmic path, the 0 is about goals, and the 4 is about limitation. So we want to remove the limitation. So when you get afraid, you type this. So it's like this fear keeps you off the dharmic path, is the way to look at it. So this part is why I wanted to continue on, because it's really good. So I'm saying most of the time we close down because we are too sensitive to other people's negativity that they're projecting towards us, negative emotions. Usually happens in childhood, but here the dreamer's older. Anyway, you say, Amy was in battle gear, ready to go with me, and a pink slime like empathetic, emotionally reactive slime in the movie Ghostbusters 2 began to invade the house while we tried to find our way to the body. So that's brilliant. So the pink slime tells us this is issues with your mom and you're empathetic. So you're dreaming of this slime. So what is it? Other people's negative, you pick up on other people's feelings and you want to close that off, or you did close that off, but now you need to open up to it again because that's what's needed. That sensitivity is needed for the work you're going to do and for your channeling, which is a big thing for you. Is there anything else significant here? Probably not. Let's continue. I saw Amy's text to get out and remember to type 4606 to eject. We had barely gotten anywhere before we had to get out. Heidi is the one who confirmed this. I was concerned the toilets were dirty and knew I still had to drive home but didn't want to do it late. Admitting I'd flushed, okay, so this is the big thing. Admitting I'd flushed the gay woman's body was a terribly hard crime to admit to. So another way, and I changed the wording a little bit there, another way to phrase that is, being open was terribly hard way to be. I didn't want to be open. And that's what that dream is about. It's about you becoming open again. And let's have a look at another one. So these are short dreams, and I didn't put the title on this one. 3 more short dreams and then we'll call it a day. The first one, she says, I'm sitting on the floor in a closet with a flashlight. I'll put this up since we don't have anything else. She didn't name it. Sitting on the floor in a closet with a flashlight looking at this wooden contraption. It was flat. A TV actor came looking for me to interrogate me, but because they know there's a message in this thing and they don't know how to get it, but they think I do. And I do. There's a secret compartment in the bottom of it. I just hand it back and say, I don't know how to get in. It was as though I was a spy or something, like part of the resistance during the war, and they took me away. Well, this dream is very straightforward. It's about getting messages. Sitting on the floor brings us back to your childhood, the time when we do sit on the floor, and we expect to see your abilities show up there. The flashlight says you're an intuitive, a strong intuitive. The TV actors represent your ability to channel, so you can communicate with the spirit world. A TV tells us you're also able to project your mind, so you'd be good at hypnosis, things like that. And that's what the bats and the Dracula and all those other symbols from earlier, the witches, they represent that too. Not Frankenstein, but the other ones. You know there's a message, so this is also backs up the TV actor. So you have this ability to get messages, you know how to get them. And you say that you know how to do it, and it's done through a secret compartment, but do I say that? Yeah. So you know the secret to getting these messages. So you need to use it, and indeed you are using it, I believe. What else? You say you don't know how to get in. So this is you denying your ability, and you say it was, and we know why now, it was as though I was a spy or something like the resistance and they took me away. So it says, because there's no war going on in your reality now, it means that the reality is that in a past life, you were persecuted and taken away for using this ability. And remember, it's not too long ago that channels were arrested for holding seances or whatever it was called at the time. And before that, not long before that, they were killed for doing that. So it's not surprising that you would see it come up in dreams, that there's fears about this. And a lot of people have fears. And a lot of the time, the fears come from former life. Sometimes it's just about losing friends, but not in your case. It's a former life fear coming up. So let's have a look at 2 more short dreams. And these dreams are connected. And again, I have no idea why the title isn't coming up there. So 2 connected dreams. You say, my boyfriend in waking life, or my boyfriend and another man were sitting in these stadium seats higher up. Deirdre was there. She's a healer, higher connected and a teacher in waking life, except she kept calling my boyfriend Pete. It's not his name. There was another girl there. Pete and the other guy were trying to convince this girl of something, nothing bad, just to enroll in a course or something like that. Deirdre just laid into them, yelling about not pressuring her, not ganging up on her and making her feel pressured. At one point, as we were leaving the stadium, there was supposed to be another way out, but we just veered left quickly and we were on the highway. So let's have a look at your dreams. Straight away, we have the abilities. We would know from the fact that we have the stadium and the higher seats that it's about your higher side. So we have a teacher and a healer. I didn't put a healer down there. Oh, I do, yeah, healer and teacher. So that means you have those abilities. So Deirdre has those abilities, so you've got them in reality. And she's highly connected, so it means you're highly connected or have a good connection with your higher self. Now, we have things that seem a bit strange. So let's see if I hit the right buttons. Peter, why Peter? Well, Peter is the name of the first apostle, so it indicates a spiritual leadership ability. So that's what you've got, a spiritual leadership ability. But why is your boyfriend called by the wrong name? Well, that means that at some point in your life, people who claimed to have a spiritual authority but really didn't, they were not authentic, affected you in your life. And we see that coming up here. And we see this, Deirdre is trying to defend this girl who's been pressured. So this pressure comes at you from a former life. And I've changed the order of things here, so I'm not really sure whether this is going to work or not. Let's see what comes up. So I'll stick with this a bit. They were trying to convince a girl of something, so I've already said that that's already happened to you before. And Deirdre lays into them not to pressure, and that's really emphasised there. And then you say, and I'm going to come back to this bit, you veered left quickly and you get on the highway. So that's really good. That's about getting onto the dharmic path. Left in dreams usually isn't a good thing in a dream, but it is in yours, because when your female energy is working, left becomes the future in your dreams. So let's hope I've got all this right. If I press this now, what do we get? So another really short dream that gives us a clue, because these are two connected dreams from the same dreamer, gives us a clue about what this is all about. And she says, I'm in school of some sort and there is going to be new ownership, and in front of all the students there was an assembly of some kind. I stand up for myself. I get in front of this man and start yelling just inches from his face, daring him to do his best to me, but he doesn't. I was just so worked up and so sure that I needed to stand my ground, but he did not react to me. And this is what gave it away to me, and you gave me these dreams in the other order. The assembly told me that this is about Jehovah's Witnesses, because they hold assemblies all the time, and they call it an assembly. So it means, so this dreamer left the Jehovah's Witnesses, and what they do when you leave is they just completely don't react to you. They close you off. It's almost passive aggressive, but it's not really passive. It's what Jesus would do. No, I'm only kidding. But so this is their aggressive technique. Kind of interesting. They're more aggressive towards people who've left their cult than people who have never been in it in the first place. So this dreamer basically lost all her family, all her friends in one fell swoop for daring to say to her Jehovah's Witnesses friends that she wasn't so sure anymore. Anyway, if anything would make you more sure, it's that. But so it's about that, and that's what the anger coming up in these dreams is about. So we have the getting worked up, they don't react to you, so they don't. So she still sees them around town and they act like she's not even there. And then if we go back to the first dream, and I don't know if I have this clued in here, you have standing your ground, worked up, yelling and angry and all that. So this is really where it gets interesting. So the woman defending you from being ganged up on is about the Jehovah's Witnesses, like I said. And it means that the crap, that's a technical term, that you experience from your previous spiritual authority, the ones who pretend to be Peter, that affects your standing with your real spiritual authority today. And your real spiritual authority are your guides and your higher self. And you're projecting the experiences that you had, the way you were treated by supposed spiritual experts. you're projecting that onto your real spiritual authority. So you got to watch that. And in some cases, just knowing that is enough. And that's what it's going to be for you. Just knowing that the negative experiences you suffered are going to affect you when somebody else, like in this dream, if you look, you say, these are the guys, they were trying to convince this girl of something, nothing bad, just to enroll in a course or something like that. So it's like, if I start doing my spiritual work, I'm going to be looking at, in the back of my mind, I have how spiritual authority was abused, or authority was abused by others who pretended to be spiritual. And so it's here, it's saying that you've got to deal with that. You've got to let that go. And because your guides can't get through to you, even if they just try and nudge you, your initial reaction is, I'm going to stand my ground, I'm going to yell, I'm going to be angry, and I'm going to say, you go no further. And so that's really not a cool thing. And do I have anything else on this stream? No, I don't. So that's the end of that one. And that's where we're going to leave it for this week. I hope it was interesting with the short dreams. If you like this video, please hit the like button on YouTube, and of course subscribe to my channel. Details about upcoming courses and events are always available on my website, dream-analysis.com, so please do check it out. Heidi Brooke, my co-host from my KKNW radio days, will be talking about her mediumship work, including demonstrations in the Resonance Performing Arts Centre in Bellevue on October 17th at 7 p.m. It's free, and details are also available on my website with links under this video. I've also got a workshop in Las Vegas running from October 6th through October 8th. That's Friday evening through Sunday evening. In the meantime, realize the value in having a dream correctly interpreted, and send your dreams to me via the show at dream-analysis.com. You're getting a serious value if your dream is picked, and you're getting valuable insights into the world of dreams regardless. Setting the record straight on dream interpretation, I'm Michael Sheridan, and I will see you next week. And until then, I will leave you with this quote, which is relevant for the last dreamer. Whoever is trying to bring you down is already below you.